We do have a special guest with us today, Juan Pablo Ángel, a 21-year playing career spanning the globe, winning titles all over the place, including at Atlético Nacional and at River Plate. 60 goals and 112 career appearances with New York Red Bulls and goals with the Colombian national teams. A good teammate of Michael Lahoud at Chivas USA in 2011 and 2012. Juan Pablo Ángel, a man that has scored many goals against Boca Juniors. I must say, 2 goals against Boca. Juan Pablo, coming off of the weekend of El Superclásico. How are you?
Nico, I'm doing great. When you mentioned that 21-year-old career, you make me feel extremely old. That you didn't need to mention that. Michael, it's a pleasure to talk to you again, my friend. Long time no speak.
Yeah.
I'm delighted to be here taking part of this show, guys.
I want to talk about El Superclásico, and one player that I think everyone's talking about more and more, hope I'm pronouncing this right, Franco Mastantuono, the 17-year-old wonder kid. What's his ceiling, and what can we expect from him moving forward?
Michael, I was just talking prior to this conversation with Nico, saying that his Argentinian players, I'm amazed with them. I was part of the ecosystem, and I've always said that the majority of what I learned about the sport, about the industry, I learned it in Argentina to do extraordinary things. And this kid is the talking point in world football right now. And where is he going to go? I just don't know. There's a lot of things that play part on it, meaning obviously the people that he's surrounded with, the club that he's going to, in terms of the game model that they can capitalize in the way he plays and his extraordinary abilities, obviously injuries and so on and so forth. But this is an extraordinary kid, and he is showing it week in and week out.
Juan Pablo,
and he plays for River Plate, guys.
Yeah, I mean, and he plays for River, right? But it's him, it's Echeverri, Julian Alvarez. I mean, that's just recently. You can make such a long list about extraordinary players that River has produced. But Juan Pablo, you're Colombian, so you do have that best of both worlds perspective on this case. And it was a topic during Copa America when Argentina beat Brazil, and what gave Argentina the edge in that final, the greater theme. And I ask you, what is it about Argentina that sets them apart from a lot of the South American football landscape?
I don't know, Nico, but it has to be with the full package. And this is just the way I interpret things for what it's worth. At that level, is everything but football. Is the mentality, is the ability to overcome pressure, difficulties.
All right, we think that a lot of these Argentine, these Brazilian clubs have all of this talent and that edge. But how do you think, Juan Pablo, they're going to fare at the Club World Cup this summer?
I mean, this is a very interesting question, Nico. And the reason being is because you have to look at it. This is a real world competition in terms of club football. And the reason being because we're going to play against the 6 FIFA confederations, teams from all over the world. But also European clubs are going to play towards the end of their season. So would you say that they're gassed out after the competition? But then South American players or Latin American players are going to be right in the middle of the competition. They might have a better chance. But we just don't know what's going to happen in terms of, the level that we're going to see. But I do expect in this new format, the matchups between Europeans and South Americans, MLS teams and the rest of the world, to see how we do. But it's going to be very interesting. And it's very similar to what happened in the World Cup. It was playing in December, right in the middle of the European season. And then I think the football that we witnessed at that World Cup was pretty high level, and I hope that we get the same throughout the FIFA World Cup 2025 in the US.
Juan Pablo, one of the things that when you talk about the Club World Cup, I've talked to a lot of people who are based in Europe, I talked to someone yesterday based in Africa, and the big thing that I've heard is just the opportunity to spread the brand and really create brand awareness and build fan bases here in North America, especially in the United States. What's the potential impact of growing the River Plate brand in the U.S. through this competition?
I mean, River is a massive, massive club around the world. And that's why in the top leagues, there's always an appetite for River Plate players. But the other part is, the growth of the soccer in the US is incredible. And I'm very happy to have this competition. And they always say yes. They keep bombarding players with more new competition, but every time that there is a space in the calendar, someone takes it. And the format of this competition, I do get to like it, not only because it's a truly World Cup or worldwide competition, but also because there's a big price tag on it. And that will help the ecosystem in general of football around the world to reinvest those resources in the sport.
Juan Pablo, apart from your career at River, you were also played in the Prem, playing for Aston Villa, scoring goals in Europe's top flight. What did you make of Aston Villa's Champions League run?
Oh my gosh. Nico, I think it is a great time to be an Aston Villa fan. And full credit, first of all, to the ownership, that they managed to hire a guy like Unai. I always said that this guy is a world-class coach, not just for what he's done at Aston Villa in a very short period of time, but also for what he has done prior in his career. But also the way they have changed the mentality in January throughout the club.
And in the UEFA Champions League this year, we saw another Colombian, a young Colombian in Jhon Durán, have success in the Champions League. I think of that match against Bayern Munich that comes to mind. What's your perception of Jhon, just in terms of his growth, been in this year, and just what's your relationship with him like?
And Jhon, I know Jhon from probably 4, 5, 6 years ago, because he's the same age as my son. So they played together at the state team, and his rapid evolution in the world of football has been crazy. He moved from a fairly small team in here that is well known for developing players. Envigado went to MLS, have an immediate impact, and then immediately he jumped into the Premier League. I think he was very fortunate to be with a coach like Unai, because he took his time to try to help him in his personality and his adjustment to the Premier League. And his numbers, regardless of how much or how less he played, I think were incredible. And now he went into this Saudi League, which are we going to see the best of Jhon? Time will tell. But I think this kid in modern football has all the attributes to become one of the best strikers in the world. But then it's up to him and up to all the things that I mentioned to you, the people that he's surrounded with, how he handled this emotion that he's going through, money, fame, recognition, so on and so forth. But does he has the qualities and abilities to be an extremely good striker? He has shown it already.
Man, I don't know what they're feeding those kids at that academy in Envigado, but they keep on producing players year after year, Juan Pablo.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, Nico. We do have the athleticism, right. We do have the quality, but then to have the full package is something different. And that's the difference between a kid like Mastantuono and someone else.
Juan Pablo, listen, before we let you go, I got to ask about your times with this guy on the training pitch in games, because he's too nice. He's too nice. Lahoud is the brightest light in any room, but I want to know about in training when he gets stuck in, and he was giving you one of these in training, please.
Phenomenal guy. You can get a better partnership than him to work with. I was old during my time in Aston Villa, but he was a lovely guy to work with.
It was automatic. Get the ball to Juan Pablo and it cashed in.
Michael, I don't know if you remember, but at the end, I've always said that, the way I interpret the game was, what can I do to be better? What can I do to make my teammates better? And I always think that, if we, in a way, not force, but, help your teammates to get better, the outcome of you to perform better and score goals I think it was the chances were higher. And that's why, I have always said that I need to work with the players that I knew that needed to fit me, that I needed to get something from in order for me to be better and have an opportunity just to compete.
Nice, sensational, great insight, Juan Pablo. Thank you very much. It was great having you on, and enjoy your week and enjoy your morning with your matecito.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure, and Next time, Nico, next time.